Welcome to the Puddins Fab Shop. Well, Puddins in the big city, I guess we ain't in the Fab Shop. Today, guys, is a new one for me. We are going to pick up something that I found, and it was a really good deal on Marketplace. Usually, y'all know I like something that's been untouched, wasn't really someone else's project. But this thing, the more I looked at it and started doing numbers in my head, I just added it up, and I was like, man, this seems like a really good deal. Hopefully it ain't too good to be true. Hey, I like your camper, looking good. We actually drove through Catoosa and Nowata, or we're headed towards kind of that area through Tulsa. A lot of people don't know it, but Nowata got its name from back in the day when settlers first showed up there. They were going to try to live there and develop the place, but they got thirsty pretty quick because there was no water. Alright, too early for terrible jokes. No water. I think I told y'all Catoosa. I meant Owasso. Well, I see a little slammed S-10 and an American flag. So I believe we made it. Well, nice to meet you, man.
Justin.
I appreciate you holding it for me and working with me on it. I'm excited to check it out. So are you building this thing yourself?
Yeah.
A little side project for you or something?
Yeah, it's been set now for quite a few months.
That'll
It's a
happen.
cool little truck, man. They're
It
kind
is
of popular now, doing LS swaps and that.
So I had a buddy in high school who had the two-door Blazer. It was pewter, lowered down about like this. He had these wheels for a while, so that's why I even clicked on it. I didn't even see it said LS swap.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was like, this guy has this thing overpriced. Then I'm going through the pictures, I seen underneath the hood, and I'm like, hold on. So I start reading a little closer, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, that's actually a really good deal, because what I could see in the pictures looks like your LS swap is pretty clean.
It is, yeah.
Which on Marketplace you don't find a whole lot.
Yeah, normally they're pretty spliced up and stuff like that, but this is kind of a plug and play, wiring harness.
Yeah,
And
it looked like you used a bunch of good parts and stuff.
yeah, and it's all poly parts and stuff, but it still needs a few things to be finished. Pop the hood right here.
So if y'all don't know, he just said he used Holley parts, and if you've never started buying Holley LS swap parts, that stuff adds up quick.
So a popular thing they do on these, they cut the core support.
Right.
To put a radiator in. This is a I can't think of the name now, but anyways, the core support is like $600. It's got a Holley LS oil pan, and it's got new power steering stuff, new suspension.
That was another thing I noticed was he had one build picture where the front end's kind of tore down, and the suspension, all the stuff we usually do was already gone through. And y'all seen me do I don't know how many in the last couple of years. That stuff adds up quick too. You're like, oh, I'll do a couple ball joints and tie rods, and $1,500 later you're like, how did all that crap add up so quick?
So
it looks good underneath here. You did a hell of a job, man.
Yeah, basically where I stopped, it just needs an NPT fitting, to go to the steam port.
For the
right
steam
there.
port, right?
And then I've got it's like a plug and play relay for the current performance wiring kit. And it'll plug in right there where it's labeled fans.
He used a plug and play swap harness, so it's not all butchered up.
Yeah. Gauges work. And
it's just a super cool little truck. It's not it's pretty clean. It's not perfect.
it needs some PDR.
I was gonna say I ain't bashing it in front of you. I could see it in the pictures.
Yeah.
Some of these little, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. Is Top Stitch Taylor just told me this guy who can do the painless dent repair in Shawnee, and apparently he's really good at it. A little thing like that to maybe knock a dent or two out of it, but it don't have no crazy, beat up. Nothing. Perfect for a driver. Perfect for something where you can go actually beat on it, have fun. If you do pick up a scratch here or there, you're not gonna be upset about it or nothing.
But yeah, it definitely needs, like a dash cover, a replacement dash, and then this bezel right here they sell for.
This is better than half the stuff I drive, man.
Yeah, and I've got the stereo back here. It's like an aftermarket one and stuff. I got it in the bed.
So is this a little truck that was running driving? You took it apart?
So basically it was a guy I work with, right? And he had a 2004 Tahoe he bought wrecked.
Okay.
And he was hoping to get it fixed, but it had too much frame damage, and kind of sold it to me, but he just kind of scrapped it and let me come over and take the engine and transmission.
Sweet. So that's how you got the drivetrain?
Right, yeah.
And then you already had the truck, or?
No, I went and found the truck.
There you go.
And it was already, the engine was out of it, the transmission was out of it.
Oh, sweet.
So the guy was getting ready to do an LS swap, and he just didn't do anything.
Both of them gave up on what they were doing, and You got how many miles you say was on that Tahoe, like around?
I think about 140 or 130, yeah.
So does it start right now as is?
Yeah, fired up. Like I said, it doesn't have coolant in it, so you know, you just
can't run it a lot.
It should fire right up. It doesn't have exhaust on it, right? So
all right. now we're talking. She fires right up. Damn race truck, baby. Motor sounds healthy. What you can hear, it's hard to hear stuff when you ain't got no exhaust, but obviously if there was something wrong with the motor big, you could hear it. If something was ticking, slapping, dinging. I appreciate you selling it to me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It just needs, you know, like a roll pan and a nice little bed.
Good shocks. Got the, I don't know how to pronounce those, the Magais. Everyone pronounces it different.
New leaf spring, everything's new.
Yeah, you even went with new shackles, new leaf springs, all of it. Yeah. Well, I guess there ain't much more to do besides get this gentleman paid and get her loaded up. I am stinking pumped about this thing. A few other things I'm gonna tell y'all he just told me before I forget. It does have the AC box from Holley, so it, I guess, keeps the factory stuff intact but gives you clearance. It has the Holley manifolds, like those blemished ones I like, but these ones are actually Holley brand, which is a pricey little set of manifolds for exhaust. He did a Malibu swap, booster, and master cylinder, which I guess gives you more room and is a popular swap on these. He said the gearbox, all the steering, all that stuff is 100% brand new. She rolls good. She's winched on, she's strapped down, she's ready to go back to Puddins town. That guy was super nice. What a great guy to deal with. So I have a feeling this is gonna be received on the channel, so kinda a little bit like the Model A, not as bad. I'll tell y'all what I paid for that thing, $5 grand. And I'm telling y'all right now, you are absolutely nuts if you think we can find a pretty clean little second gen S-10, a 140,000 mile drivetrain out of a LS swap, donor vehicle, whatever. Buy all the Holley stuff. I'm pretty sure that plug and play motor harness alone is like $1,500 through those people. Those exhaust manifolds, $300. That oil pan's probably $500. I don't know. I ain't actually got on and looked at all the stuff. I just know it gets expensive quick. There's no way we could go through the suspension, new brakes, new leaf springs. That falls underneath suspension. I may have said it twice. There's no way we could go through all that stuff and have a truck like that to that point for $5,000, guys. I was over that in our little damn giveaway S10 we did. So, with all that being said, I hope y'all do like that truck, or you see it and see why I was excited to get it. Seems like a pretty stinking good deal to me. I just realized I came this way, but I don't know where I'm going. We're lost. And since then, I've not made any changes, except for maybe some wheels. And this guy promised me he won't make any noise as I record, that he'll keep it nice and silent. Loud and obnoxious and kick dust all over my show rig. Man, what are friends for? Lang's gonna be helping me push. He just don't know it yet. And here is the one change I've made. Look at those wheels and tires, guys. These are my two random good deals I'd found on Facebook put together. We had these on Slick's Fire Turd for a little bit. Some of y'all really like those on there. And once I got this thing here, I was texting with old Convict about what wheels and tires I should put on it. And I was just trying to figure out size-wise, what should we go with, 17, 18? I remember I had these, so I come out here just to see if proportionally they look good. And then they just look so dang good that I ain't got the heart to put anything else on them. That nails the look of this truck. It's got a little bit of a classic influence, being an oversized rally. It's got a little bit of modernness to it, being an oversized rally. And the colors just work a lot better than I thought they were going to. Yeah, you watch him, Theodore. That's a good boy. He cannot be trusted. Good job, security officer. Don't forget, kids, if you can't finish school, you can finish concrete.
There you go. Here we go again.
Got some momentum. I knew he could push. We just barrel roll it down the hill.
You ready for me to start pushing?
Yeah, anytime now. That's the hoodie removal kit right there. A few shoves of that and I'm ready to take this hoodie off. It's a good thing we brought the truck over here where it's nice and quiet. Yeah, hush it up over there. Do the boot scoot boogie. Oh, perfect. Now we can listen to some jackhammering instead. What I can remember he told me it needs is the steam port hooked up, transcooler lines, exhaust, and the fan radiator relay. This thingy right here, my bobber, installed. And the goal is to get this thing running and driving where we kind of have a baseline of a truck. Then we can look at C-notching, rear end swapping, adding a camshaft, and making it even better. In fact, that current performance company may even make the rest of the bolt-in AC kit for this truck, which having that and a decent interior in it, well, we'd pretty near have the closest thing we've ever had to actual show truck. No, that's not true. But it will be a cool little nice driver that would probably hurt a high school boy driving a Mustang's feelings when he got next to me at the light and I blew his doors clean off. Good thing we didn't drive it on those. Finger tight's good enough for me, huh? Knock the dust off those till we can see a handsome man in them. Oh, hello. That gentleman said everything was new. Look at them control arms riveted in. Brake or wheel sensor, speed sensor thingy, my bobber, rotor, dust shield, calipers, obviously pads, you name it, up front just looks freaking awesome. Moog, even better. This is gonna be opposite of a Mortsky video. See, Mortsky will buy a truck that costs 3 times this, and then he buys it stolen knowingly and goes to jail and then wants people to feel sorry for him. And then he gets it and he looks it over and he talks about how bad it is. I got this one cheap, and that guy, from what I can tell, did a hell of a job on everything. You need to buy better, Mortsky. Shoo-wee! A wipe of the wheel and some tire shine. She looks G-U-D. Oh, she looks good. Get down, do that. Do that. Get down, do that. Do that. All right, let's have a little look-see underneath here. Plenty of surface rust, but nothing like rusty, nothing scary. Got to that brace a little bit on the bed, you can see. She's pitted, but she ain't like rusted out. Got the Magai shocks, lowering blocks. Bunch of new stuff like we had previously discussed. Got the Southwest drive shaft right here. Got our fuel filter set up, all A&N. We probably want to do something a little better with these lines. Here's our fancy cross member, bolt-in bracket to the factory frame. Don't worry about those bolts right there because the 4 won't hold it. Those other ones never would have. Shoot, looks pretty dang good to me. Oh, he welded in that piece of metal up there, huh? So some of our stuff hanging and a dangling. A couple rear O2 sensors. I do not plan on running those, so we'll probably want to strap them up. Over here, I ain't sure what that is. So who knows what that would have went to. Oh, probably something on the factory transmission. Can't fool me. Driver side O2, so there's another O2 sensor. Then there's our other front one as well. More just kind of half done zip ties that we can fix on all that. Right there you can see that Holly oil pan and how tight of a fit that is. She's got about a 1/4 inch at least on each side of clearance, so that's pretty good. I'm guessing that hole is messed up right there because there ain't no bolt in that. We don't need that bolt anyhow. I mean, overall, what I can see, just like up top, everything looks pretty good. Right there, looks like we've got a brake caliper leaking. Not the caliper, but that hose probably. So we may need to tighten on that. And she may have all new ball joints and everything, but I don't think any of that stuff's actually been greased. So we probably want to put a little slickum, get a little looby-dooby up in there. Up front, Everything looks good enough to me. A couple more things hanging and dangling that we should probably do something with instead of just letting them flop there. Don't worry, I too have zip ties. Y'all thought I was playing about them zip ties? Oh no. We can start right up front. Couple holes on this cross member. I have no problem just zip tying this stuff. I'm gonna do my fancy trick someone taught me. Just grab that baby flush and give her the old spin twist. And it rips it off and then you don't get that jagged edge. How fancy. Boy, you know I mean business if you see me load up that back pocket, huh? Huh. Is this one of the thingies that pops your airbags for you, deploys them, knows if you've been in a wreck? It is broken, and it's only held on with one zip tie. That's not very safe. So we're gonna lock her down with another, and this one's a big girthy one. Chow! Much safer. Now I know some of y'all may not like zip ties, but right here's a perfect place for all this. This harness, you can see I put 1, 2, 3, 4 on there, because all those wires were just kind of all flopping around. And with them all being tied together, yeah, it can move some. But at least now it ain't all sloppy floppy. Our hose right here, I just investigated it. Goes up to there and it tees. One side hooks up to the transmission vent. The other side goes up and actually has a little cap, a little vent. So I guess this is just a drain. Hopefully our transmission don't do any self-draining, but in case it does, I guess we'll just leave this. I'm just gonna trim it down where we're not dragging the extra foot of line around. Hey Ma, Puddins Transmission's doing the self-draining feature. Now our fuel lines, I'm even okay with them being zip tied as long as this is all cleaned up a little better. I know some of y'all's not gonna like it, but it is what it is. I'll show you one thing I'm not a huge fan of, and just where these fuel lines were ran up, obviously our exhaust is right there. Exhaust gets hot, fuel's flammable. I'm good at setting stuff on fire. So on that, I kind of pulled these wires out of there and I just started shoving stuff that away to see where I could take it. And there's a brake line or something right there. So if we pry on that, pull on the fuel lines, a little tighter fit, getting the second one pulled over here. There we go. Now just drop down. And now that can chafe on that and cut it instead. That's perfect. So you can see what I'm trying to do. Trying to pull her off to the side here some. We can bend on that. I'm not scared to bend on it. Just a little lip of a fender wheel, no big deal. There we go. Now if we pull it over here and can zip tie that, now we're good 4 or 5 plus inches away. Way better. My wife had a question for me the other day. She said, how come you got them Dickies carpenter britches now? I said, hell, that's simple. Real simple, darling. You know why I wear them carpenter britches? You wanna know the real reason why I like them? I like them old carpenter britches because, boom, I can keep them things on me. Just playing. Yes, I'm using these cut zip ties again. I know it's bad. All right, I'm a creature of habit. I got carpenter pants because I accidentally ordered like 6 pair. I don't know how to send stuff back, so I just wear them. What else do you do with them? Underneath here, the zip ties continue. As you can see, I was able to pull this whole thing down and just zip tie it all together. This back here, one line was under here, one was up. To get all that together is gonna kind of stabilize her out some. I guess old Mortsky didn't like my little side cutter, so he sent me this pair. What a guy. Or maybe I was supposed to put these in a cake and send it to him. I don't know. I'm sure y'all's tired of watching zip tying, so I'll just show you what I did. These O2 sensors for the rear that we're not gonna use for now, I just zip tied them along our cable for a shifter. Not a huge fan of that shifter. I'm not convinced it's gonna stay, but right now that's plenty good. Over here, right there at each one of the clamps, make sure to add a zip tie to bundle that up. And now this, that used to just flop and everything. Like, that don't look bad, guys. I'll show you one thing that does look bad. See these? That's what retains that. Those should not be just finger loose like that where they can vibrate and come apart. This side over here is the same way. I just seen that gap between there and I was like, yep, that ain't good. But overall, that looks a lot better, and we've got good clearance for our exhaust now. Now to tighten these down, you want to get the proper size wrench. Just snug it down a little bit, guys. Ain't gotta be smoked to Alabama. That probably just saved us from being on the side of the road one day. Speaking of the shifter, I noticed it has just held on with one bolt right now. Obviously that is not ideal. However, for now it's working. So for right now, we'll pretend like we did not see that. Wrench on that, that is nice and tight. You get my extendo kit. Give her a few love taps. Tighten up a little more. All right, we're gonna try that. That could be residual too, because now that I'm looking, our bleeder up here, we may want to check it for it being tight, because it actually looks like fluid's been coming out of there, and it could just be running down. Yeah, I got a pretty decent little turnout of that right there. I bet she was just barely trickling out of there and then has been running down. Yeah, snug that. Good find, team. I noticed the rear of our diff has a new cover on it. So just out of curiosity, I just want to check our fluids here, make sure she has some in her. Threads look wet. Oh yeah, nice new stuff right there. Brand stinking new, smell real good. Are your ball joints dry? When you drive your truck, does it go squeakity deekity? Are your tie rods more dry than Mortski's sense of humor? If you need some grease in your life, you need to come down to Puddins Lubrication Station, Pot County's newest sensation. Here at Puddins, we only use premier automotive grease. With our high pressure guns, we're guaranteed to give your lubrication point, oop, as it shoots out, Chris. Hold on. With our top of the line guns, we're guaranteed to give your lubrication with our top of the line grease guns, we're guaranteed to give any ball joint or grease point the ultimate, gosh bless it. I know what I'm trying to say and I can't say it, Chris. With our top of the line grease guns, we'll provide lubrication with maximum penetration. We even throw in a little extra on top for free. Here at Puddins, with a golden 5-star rating, here's some real life testimonies from actual paid customers.
No, they actually did terrible. They actually made it worse than
Hey, cut the camera, cut the camera. Our work speaks for itself, guys. Just like this customer truck right here. One more ball joint on that side and she's gonna be down the road. So if you need some lube, come see this dude. And don't forget, if the shop rag don't stick to the hand, you went and seen the wrong man. Come see me here at Puddins Lubrication Station. All right, guys, them lubricating fellas got me all fixed up here. Got all of our ball joints, tie rods, all that stuff was dry, so we definitely did it a lot of good. This is gonna suck. She's tight fit. Up there you can see we got the Harry Pepper, little Harris Pepper ratchet and wrench flex head. I already got the bottom fitting out. Now we're gonna get that top one. Ow! Oh! Woo! Make my heart skip a beat. That felt good. Well, she popped free. Getting these old ones out is gonna be the easy part too. It's getting the new stuff actually in, which is gonna be a pain. And I should know all about pain. Just ask my poor middle finger. Come on. Get out of there. Whew. I struggled through and I got it. And then I noticed on our little heat shield right here, 2 bolts. We're probably gonna pull that. I bet it'll help give us some room. You definitely wanna notice that after you get the old ones out. Woo, doggy. Hey, looky there. Look at all that room for activities now. What is this? Expansion plug, EXPN plug. I know what that's supposed to go on. Is everything on this thing hooked up? Looks like it. I don't know. And some of the parts I gathered was stuff to build AN lines for a transcooler. Now these, I don't know if y'all can tell, those are straight. And these fits right here, they're straight. They are 1/4 inch, whatever you call it. A little more room to work with now. Come on, come on. There we go. Hold your tongue just right and you'll get her started. Now luckily, these are a 20 millimeter instead of a 19. So we lose our ratcheting feature. Just 1,000 baby turns will get you. Yeah. Whew. Now y'all may notice that had an O-ring on it. I've seen some that come with like the washers, just a crush washer, and also from the factory, those threads just have sealant on them. So I think you can probably do all three. I don't think I've ever done the O-ring style, but we're gonna try her on this go around. Now, due to our awesome amount of room between the S-10 floor right here, our transmission right there, we're pretty well forced to use 90s, so I can't take those towards the front just because there's too much stuff right there. So it looks like both of them's gonna kind of have to sweep back this way, and then we'll figure out how to go forward. Since we know both of them gotta be a 90, let's just cut our line in half and get a 90 on each end, and then we can start figuring out how to route them towards the front. I knew this would be the fun part. Whoop. After I cut them with that, I like to blow them out. I know people say you can't cut them with a cutoff well, but yet here I am. As long as you blow out all that debris, should be kind of good to go. Don't take my word for it. I think y'all can tell I've become a fan of these fittings. You just lube them down. I already lost one of our 90s, one of the ones I used for mock-up over there. It ran away. Putting our first fitting on here after lubing it. I always have luck turning her counterclockwise. Shove her down on there. You'd think like in the AN stuff I'd get proper tools, but oh no. Let's just tear up these fittings in our vise. A little lube on that, on them threads, and then just hold your line in there. As that thing tightens, it threads in there, and as it does that, I mean it flares that out and it just creates a crimp. And guys, these kits are fairly cheap. You can get them off Amazon with like the fittings and stuff, or eBay, whatever, and they're just so good for fuel lines, trans lines, you know, whatever type of line you need to make where you want a little swivel action, 90 straights, 45s, and the line is flexible where it's easy to route. Guys, they're just a good solution, I think. Yeah, once it bottoms out, I always just tighten it up till those things line up. That right there should be a nice tight connection. Now with both of them, we can slap them on the truck, start running them forward. And we'll kind of figure her out as we go. She's a tight fit, guys. I had to swoop one to the back and one to the front, but I got them. Gotta get another turn or two on her, but we're gonna make her work. They call me P-Tang, AKA the zip tie guy. Snap, 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 snap. Now we've got multiple zip ties ready to slice your hand open. That's what we're after. And our top one, I just looped it around, guys. Just don't pull it too tight where you don't kink it, and it should be okay, okay? Try to add us a clamp in there. I don't know if this will work or not. See why it won't. Stretch. Oh, it ripped. We were close. Stretch. Nice custom clamp there. Little Waller for $1. That'll be all right for just using what we have on hand. I may put us a zip tie right by that and right here. At least having that there will keep her from being able to flop all around. Little massage on that clamp to help her flow. That is above our mount here and everything, a little bit above our oil pan. So we've got clearance between it and the ground. Obviously higher than our cross member up here. And she hugs pretty close, so I'm happy with that. Our exhaust is gonna be right in here, but I don't know where else to get around it at, guys. Our line's popped out right here by our wiring harness. And I think we've got 2 ports on that side of our radiator for a built-in trans cooler. So we can just zip tie those along up there and we'll be right at it. Cut us down a little custom bolt action here. Kind of like back there, we'll put a clamp right there. I'll zip tie that close to it. And that'll work just dandy. The bottom one's DUN. Let me show you how we're gonna do that other one up top. Peel our HVAC tape, and we've got a bung right there. In fact, we've got 2 bungs. I did not know we were running double bungs up top. Hey Ma, Puddin's got 2 bung holes. And these I'm pretty sure are an NPT, so that's what I got there with some thread tape on them. All right, there's good enough for me. I don't know, it don't look like she's in there very far. Crap like this always makes me nervous. We'll run it. Cannot find our other 90. You can take those 45s and hammer on them some and put a little more of a bend into them. It's a little pro tip, because sometimes 45 ain't enough and 90's too much. Smack, 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 get her just right. I'm gonna put that on there and then put our tape on there, knowing we need to cut that about halfway between our tape. But Puddin', that thing's on there already. You're gonna get all the debris and the lines will blow up your transmission. I know. That is why we've got to combat that the best we can. And I do that by pinching that sucker off where the debris can't flow back in there. And very carefully, we're gonna finagle the slice and dice in here and cut this off. Then she's ready for an air blast. Could y'all see all that debris blow out of there because it's pinched off? And then that way we don't get a bunch of trash in there. And now we just gotta simply put our fitting on. Simply, as it's down here. All right, we got her. This should go here, I would think. Boom, you got overflow. This, I would imagine, just is supposed to dump somewhere. So if this overflows, it has a place to go. And then that, I would think they made a return port just for the steam port on an LS motor, which if y'all don't know what that is, right down there on the bottom of the throttle body, there's one right there. It's actually one of the things we're supposed to hook up. I'm just gonna go with my educated guess. How about that? So that's a 1/8 inch MPT to 3/8 barb. We're gonna trim it about like so, and it goes there. I need to put some type of cap on that, probably. Insert your fitting. And these are cut pretty crooked, so if we can cut them straighter, that'll help it look a little better as well. That's a big if, though. I don't believe I cut it any straighter than it was. Clamped our hose on. Our clamps here, I moved them down to that edge, and that really cleaned that up a lot. That looks way better. Don't forget this port up top. Just gonna put a 1/4 inch plug in her. Hooked up our little steam port. That don't look too bad. Could look worse. I mean, hell, it could look like Morski did it. I'm gonna leave our intake off, because first thing in the AM, we're gonna get out here. We're gonna figure out where we wanna mount this and get our fans wired up. And obviously that leaves us a little more access to them fans. Gotta get to those wires right there. This is how we start every morning. Theo requires at least 10 minutes of pets, and he really likes some prolonged eye contact. Just stare into my soul, Dad. Let's lock eyes for 10 minutes and pet my face. Oh, I love a good face rub, Dad. And see, Mr. Needy here, well, he needy all the pets. That's what he needies. Going in with our relay here, we got 2 little mounting tabs and some sheet metal right here, so that's where we're gonna aim to slap it. A little slappity tappity. How fancy. Little release tab on that bracket. Then we can just mount it. Get a little rubbing alcohol here. And mark away our Sharpie marks. Professional install. No marks left behind. I just got a couple big hunkin' sheet metal screws here. Apparently we missed the hole. Never mind, I got it. Yeah! Then that should simply click onto there somehow. There we go. Here's our controls. Come right over here, fans. What sure is nice about this plug and play stuff, and I did have to kind of reroute this just a hair, and we're gonna bring it underneath that box there. I found something for something else. We'll just tuck that back. We don't need to know that was there. And a little bloop. Hold on, face it the right way. Which way is the right way? Gotta be smarter than the plug and play. Oh man, should put that underneath that. All right, we can plug that. Just kind of lay it there. That don't look bad. To wire in the rest, we need our power, which is right here. And I think this is just the 12 volts that feeds the fuse box here, so we could go off of this. We could just swoop that up and boop, bop her onto there, huh? Before you start unhooking main electrical lines over there, disconnect your battery so you don't get a free fireworks show in the middle of November. 7mm will get her out, and we want to pull this where we can see what size eyelet we need. She's got some nice little retainer clip thingy majiggers. All right, don't forget to put your heat shrink on. This stuff is peel, which is pretty cool. I've never seen the stretchy stuff that is also you can peel it open type thing. Good, thick quality wire. Obviously this is no paid endorsement by Current Performance. That gentleman had already bought all this stuff. I am super impressed with everything I've seen of theirs so far. It's a actual good 10 gauge thick wire that this fitting ain't even fitting on here good. This fitting, like I'm doing some damn plumbing here or something. All right, well I tell you, bow all that out, make it ugly. It should fit on here. I'm just gonna have to get it just right, and it should go. Just playing, it ain't gonna go. Ain't gonna go. If you have a problem with getting your connector to fit, you wanna take you a good little whoop, pointy thingy, put that right on there, and then you wanna get you a good hammer. Give her the custom flare job. Once you flare it, it will simply install. Hot damn, that's some good custom wiring right there, folks. That's literally the first time in my life I've ever had to do that. Yeah! And it ain't stupid if it works. No! Why did I turn it off? You may notice I actually sized up an eyelet as well. I think that'll just give us a little more contact surface on that big old lug over there. You want some lug nuts?
You need them lug nuts?
Chickadee, check this out. I bent that at a 90, and that's why I actually went with the bigger lug. Because look, I realized I could kind of tuck it underneath that one where it don't stick out so bad. If you don't know to look for that, you ain't even hardly gonna notice it. Now, let me say, I know some of y'all's gonna get on to me in the comments because I didn't just put a fuse on that to feed them relays. I know. I'm just gonna act like I didn't know it's supposed to be fused because it already came in an open package with no instructions. How was I supposed to know? Before we move on, down in here, I found this. I don't know if that probably used to feel like a windshield wiper bottle or something like that. Probably for like a little pump on it. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna kind of wad that up and hope it disappears up underneath our fuse box in here as well. Better than it flopping around out here. And I also found this flopping around down in there. And that is a ground, or it's supposed to be a ground. It also looks like a very rusty ground. Yeah, right there is probably where that's supposed to go. Oh yeah, look, there's one of those type of little slide-on brackets, usually for like the washer fluid bottle, like I said. Made in Canada, hey. Shout out to Brant, Mr. Half-Ass Customs himself. Whew. Ah. Knock a little bit of the surface rust off. May not help a whole lot, but better than nothing. And guys, hook up as many grounds as you can. Don't be leaving them unhooked. These newer vehicles with all this electronic everything, you just want every ground hooked up you can find. Yeah. To wire these up, we're gonna come down low and hopefully do all the connections down here. I'm gonna very carefully pop us a hole right here. All right, that goes through to another piece of metal, it looks like. That's good. Then I'm gonna pop us a nut cert right in that sucker. That way we've got a place to put our ground on and off. Now speaking of ground, I took our two little ones from the fans and I've got them tied up to this one bigger one. I've got that old soldering iron smoking hot, baby. So we're gonna melt these two together. Two become one. Oh yeah, she likes that. So after soldering that, guys, just put an eyelet on here like up there. Boom, we're grounded. Then you see that little fancy thingy majigger? Well, I was looking for a way to be able to disconnect them and reconnect them with something that could actually handle a decent load. And I found these online. You cut them in half and splice them into what you need. So for ours, instead of one being a ground, one being a positive, they're both gonna be the positive for our fans. We're gonna put the other end on these two, which are our positives. fan 2, fan 1. Both fans are here to have some fun. Zip tied our wires up there, that way it kind of drops down, and then we'll zip tie all that together. This is just gonna go that away. So now we just gotta cut this down and add our other end right here. We'll solder, heat shrink, and put your wrap back on. That, don't look too shabby. Our wrap here is trying to untangle, so I'm gonna melt them ends down. Put your plug together, a couple more zip ties. And guys, what's nice about this is, say this radiator needs to come out of here. Well, you undo that one plug, take out that one bolt, and then that is a harness that stays with your fan setup. Whoop! You can pick her up out of there. I know our wiring wasn't the fanciest way we could have done it, but it was a fast way that I'm still pretty happy with, all right? Don't come around here if you want that professional wiring job. 1,000% anyhow. We give about, out of 100%, I'm gonna give you about 86, okay? Best I can do, hell. That wiring wrapped up, well, it's time we're gonna look at some exhaust. And I'm about to get in, whoop, way over my head. That's right, as you can tell, this is a nice cheapo stainless steel kit off the eBay. Comes with some 90s, some U's, some 45s, a couple straightaways. I dug through our old box of goodies here, found some gaskets, found some bolts, and I found a big old thick flange. I mean, that stuff's like 1/2-inch thick stainless, it looks like. So I got those just tightened up there, and we are gonna attempt to TIG weld this. Warning, warning, warning. I am terrible at TIG welding. No part of me expects this to go well. At some point during the process, if you hear me say things such as, "You no good son of a," "Why you no good piece of," or other offensive sayings, I do apologize in advance. If you see tools begin to fly across the shop, duck. Puddins.fab shop is not responsible for injury. If you see me give up halfway through and start to use the MIG, do not be surprised. If this goes well, be surprised. Please watch at viewer's discretion. Thank you. Whoop! Careful there. I know this is looking a little shady, but that's why I got safety inspector right here, okay? Obviously, we do not want this bottle coming off here. So I'm gonna give her the double ratchet with it all the way around. It actually sits on the lip of that. Now we got a mobile welding cart that is usually our table. So with my I'm gonna butcher it TIG welder welding cart set up and in place, we gotta kind of look underneath here and get an idea of what we're up against. Now thankfully that cross member's got the whoop built into it, and we can kind of 45 out of there and work our way straight back. Now this side, we got a little predicament. Knock, knock. Who's there? Gas tank. Gas tank who? Your gas tank that's right in the damn way. So I think we're gonna have to come out this way and then 90 underneath the tail housing of our transmission.
Transmissions?
Then we can turn and worry about what's going on. We've got enough to do to get to this point, okay? So I think we're gonna start on this side. I wipe that down with some alcohol. I think that's supposed to help with your TIG. It's mainly I think TIG welding's kind of like painting a car. It's all in your prep work, basically. And then when you go to weld it, you still gotta be able to do like 4 things at once. Prep work is important. With the MIG welder, not so much. There's a gap, weld, 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 I'll fill it. With this one, we're gonna have to get stuff fitting decent. I cleaned this in with some alcohol, and I think the first thing we're gonna do is just slip that right into there. Face it the way we need it to face. About right here. And then we'll have to pick up on it some. Let's see if I can even manage to get a tack weld on that. You know the good part of TIG welding is, or a crucial part that helps? Probably when you turn on your gas. What a rookie mistake. That's my biggest mistake. I do that with MIG welding all the time as well. I think we're gonna get all right at sharpening tungsten today. I think I got a tack up top. And support the bottom. That also pick that up so we can then tack the other bottom, the bottom of the flange. First, we need to slip us a piece in there just so we can see how we're sitting to our cross member. It's kind of eyeballing it, and height-wise, we look pretty good. Got 2 tacks on that one. That'll definitely help hold her. This is really good practice for me, just because like even working on the truck, Obviously, if I can get a few pieces tacked up and take it to the bench and weld it up over there, that'll be easier, but still difficult because, like I said, TIGging is new to me. One thing I did do under advice from Slick, especially on stainless, I know some of y'all's gonna say, oh, you got back purge, blah, blah, blah. Guys, let's not act like we're building a damn F1 car, okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But to help, I did crank up my pre-flow and post-flow. And after you get a weld done, you want to be sure to keep that sucker covered in gas. Don't just rip your torch away, blah, blah, blah. And now with 3 tacks on there, that's a lot more solid. We like that. At this point, like I said, I think we need a 90 over here. So if we're gonna do that, we need a piece about 6.5 inches long. And to help with cutting this stuff down, we're gonna turn to the good old Evolution saw. And not too long ago, I finally smoked the blade on this old girl. And a family, some of the subscribers from the early years had donated this, sent it out. I can't remember the family's last name. If you're still watching, comment it down below. I'm gonna look for it. But I cannot thank you enough, because this is something that I wish I had bought a long time ago myself. So for this one, we had to get the old yellow blade, stainless steel. Hey, y'all think that's supposed to be on there? You're gonna go at 7 inches instead of 6.5. Theodore, you gotta get back. You ain't got your safety glasses on. Guys, I thought I was just cutting butter. Yeah, it was that good. And I do apologize. I know that welder is loud. That fan stays kicked on. We're gonna wipe this down with some alcohol. This is gonna be a butt weld, so I'm just gonna get it all tacked up here on the bench to stretch this piece out. Resharpen the tungsten. I cranked our amps down on the welder just because I had it higher to burn into that flange. Let's see if she don't weld better with a ground on her. It ain't looking the greatest. I don't know if it's this cheap eBay kit. I don't know if it's the incorrect filler rod. What I do know is I full welded that sucker all the way around there. Like I said, it may not be the prettiest, but for just getting going here, I guess I'm not totally mad at it. I think this is supposed to be 304 stainless. Again, from the JY Performance, straight out of China. And then the filler rod is ER308/308L. Like I said, it's just what they had at my welding supply place. Right now, we're building practice of just not burning holes, stuff like that, so we can worry about having the prettiest welds in the future. Right now, I'm just proud of myself for actually making myself weld that. Called Slick. He said, put the biggest cup I got on there, which I ain't got a big one. I mean, it's a decent sized cup. It ain't small, okay? I've got this number 7. I'm gonna try swapping to it. He told me to up my gas coverage. I should have known that. I never even checked to see what we're actually flowing. Hell, from the get-go, when I forgot to turn the gas on, I was just happy to have any gas flowing, you know? Well, I don't think it was our gas. I got her tuned to a little over 20 right now. A minute ago when I hit it, is up at 50. So I'm glad we checked that before we ran out of gas in 2 welds. Now over here, you can see what we've got going on. Boy, their slip fit is extra forgiving, ain't it? Holy cow, they did bad on that. We're gonna look at going about right there. Maybe leave an inch or so behind that cross member. Boy, that right there was the praying weld. Y'all see me do the pray and spray. This old helmet got where it was flashing in and out, not working. So I freaking closed my eyes and just started dragging. And I'll be damned if I didn't do it. Hell, my blind welds look better than the one over there where I could see. I got a tack on her. This is a new helmet and she's messing up on me. Let me bump the sensitivity up. Maybe we're riding the fine line. There we go. I put us a little weld on that just to help hold it. There's gonna be a gap to weld up top. Cut us a piece about 4.5 inches long here. That's because to get this up to the collector on this side, This needs to be a little bit longer. Welded that up, not really looking any better, even after messing with the gas. The problem is gonna be, even once we work that up in there like so, which that looks like we did about the perfect amount. So good eagle eye guess right there, baby. Getting up into there to tack that's gonna be pert near impossible. My hardest TIG welding task yet. I can pert near get it. Gotta crank my heat back up for this flange. Come on, helmet. Ooh, I got a little tack on it. 1 second, let's try again. One good one. Y'all see how I got that aimed? And then over here, I'm having to come up through there and right up there. Hopefully y'all can see where I got a tack on that thing. You like that? I do. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get it. Very carefully, we're gonna remove that. Hey, there's a pretty looking weld, see that? So it must be our gas coverage because that flange is probably blocking the gas where it can't blow away, right? So it's keeping better gas coverage, and look how nice that looks. All right, I welded, she helded. Slap our piece back on. Height-wise, we did pretty good. It looks like we could stand it, try to tweak it right there. Luckily that let me tweak it some. That looks pretty good. Get a little support there. Check it where we want it. I think that would work. I will tell you one thing though. It is nice not getting a bunch of hot slag down your back or arms or in your hair to burn off the bald spot you already got. The day's going better than I thought it would, and I'm not mad at it. Next up, we're gonna look at our muffler options, which is not a whole lot. I may call around, see if I can find something else. We're gonna use these as our to figure out how close we can get the two pipes to each other. I didn't get mufflers for this thing yet. I actually did not plan on working on it this week. I was hoping to have all the rear suspension parts in for this thing where we could get back on that and finish it up. But I'm still waiting on all the stuff to build the 3-length, the Y-bone, blah, blah, blah. These mufflers here I'd bought for old Roy, which we're doing the 6-liter swap in. Looking underneath here, it's pretty obvious if there's any chance of fitting 2 mufflers, it's gonna be right up in here, and they're gonna have to face up and down. So if we measure across that muffler, from that outside edge to the center of that muffler is right at 2.5 inches. We want at least a 1/2 inch gap between them, so there's 3 inches. Then add another 2.5 for the other muffler. And that would give you 5.5 inches from center to center. Meaning if we go from the center of this pipe over 5.5 inches and center that other one, then we should have enough clearance to come straight back and end up with about a 1/2 inch gap between the mufflers. I think. Come over here and we go to the center of that and we shove that in. We're actually gonna have to cut a little bit off of this where it can go that way a little further. We don't need much. We can take just a hair, like 3/8 off, we'll be good. Such a good cut. Get her mocked up here, center to center, 5.5 inches, just about perfect. Eagle Eye does it again. Woo! Yeah! What's that? You said you want to go to Taco Boy and get some food. All right, Model A, you ain't got to twist my arm. I needed to drive the Model 8, but also I wanted to tell you one of my big inspirations of learning our stainless on this S-10 is the Model A needs better exhaust. So I figure we could just practice on a damned old mini truck, okay? Just clapped out little S-dime to get a feel for it. Because eventually I would like to throw a better exhaust on this. Maybe we'll do it on the second channel or something. What you think about that? Well, well, well. Look who pulled up right before us. Bill! Did you eat already? I should have hollered at you before I grabbed food. I could have fed you too. What do you think about this, Bill?
Yeah, that's what I seen that.
She's gonna be the little high performance rig, huh?
Yeah. This truck's already real cool.
For what it is, right?
It's got a lot of high dollar shit on it, man.
both pieces full welded. I didn't figure y'all wanted to watch all that. Now that was kind of rough because that slip fit is so bad. Obviously the side that touches, woo, she welds up pretty easy. The side that's got about an 1/8 inch gap, not so much. So warning, this does not look the greatest. Like that right there was the big old gap side, but nonetheless it is welded. Down here, big old gap, you can tell how that's offset. But then like down here where that was a tight fit and a little corner joint or whatever, I was pretty happy with how I was able to weld all that up. That don't look terrible. All right, I'm gonna take my muffler and I'm gonna hold it up here, kind of where that area where I showed you we could tuck it into. And I'm gonna mark it. Our muffler is not stainless, so I don't know how this is gonna do welding to each other, but we'll see. Seems to be welding pretty nice. Woo! With that cut, that can slip into that muffler. And like I said earlier, it's crazy what a difference a tight fit makes on TIG welding. Not that that's perfect, but that looks way better than that other stuff I just showed you. Set her in place and drop her down just a hair. Something about like that's what we're after. The whole thing needs... Hello, Theodore. What are you doing, exhaust inspector? You heard I was hanging mufflers, so you came here to see if I passed QA? Well, that's just embarrassing. Yeah! All right, with that one running where I'm happy, next up, when you get the other one into place, make sure we ain't gonna be rubbing or anything like that. Woo, she's gonna be close. Probably something like 14 1/4 would be pretty good. Woo, just enough. Hey, batter, batter, hey, batter, 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 swing! Did y'all see me kneeling and then kind of plop down? Oh, that old left knee gave out. Jeez Louise. I just dipped that tungsten more in that one weld than I've done in the whole day. I'm proud of myself for not being an old Dipper McDipperson. All right, that gets us back to here. If y'all look up there, there's a factory hanger. Now looking through that box of goodies, I found a handful of hangers. That joint right there was nice and hot. I want to bend that over. That way we get that much more weld on it. Theo and Hot Rod. Da, 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 da. Just add a little jog. Just a couple little smacks gives us a really good fit. That was flowing pretty good right there, so I'm gonna finish her up. All right, they're welded to our hangers. Get our helpers out. Speaking of helpers, I ain't got no help around here. We just got a bunch of, I know it's upside down. It's been hanging underneath the truck upside down. Here, now you're upside down. Now last up, we're gonna take these U-bends. I didn't think we're gonna have much use for these, but if you look right there, we kind of got the makings of a turn down. And because I don't know if these mufflers are gonna stay on this rig, I'm not even gonna attempt to run that out the back because that would suck if then we had to change it. So I think for now, we can just slide one of those right into each muffler and I'll rough mark kind of where we'll need to cut it at. Use our old wire wheel to deburr it. Lay that one on top of our other one here, just to give us a ballpark. Well, that's old pudding of Eagle Eye exhaust. Cutoff wheel got a little small. I had to kind of angle it in there and she got a little jagged. It's all right. This one's actually cut a little longer. So we'll just clean her up on there. Voila! And I decided to cut just a little off where they're not so long. Get that one on. And we ended up pretty good there. Not perfect, but pretty dang close. Shoo! That's it. Not it yet. We're not 100% done. But that's the final piece tacked. Well, kind of welded on. And man, do I appreciate y'all watching along on this. So I could finally hold myself accountable to get in here and just get a little better at this. Not perfect. Like I said, I can see how this is kind of angled down. When I'd welded that piece needed to be a little straighter in there. That's from that loose fit, whatever. Still my fault, not pointing fingers. But overall, guys, I think this kind of matches the quality of the truck, where it's a really good truck for what it is, but it ain't by no means perfect. And that's kind of our exhaust right now for being my first stainless one. It's pretty good for what it is, but it's by no means perfect. Woohoo! She's welded. Didn't figure y'all want to see any more of that. Overall, we're just getting a little better as we go. Big old gap there had to fill up. Let's lop these off. She's ready to go back on the truck. You got to polish the muffler before you put her on. Is it a show rig or not? All right, this time going up, we've got the old Mr. Gasket gaskets. Hey, Mr. Gasket chromes everything. Mr. Gasket chromes their gaskets. High-end stuff. I think the thing to do here is make sure that sexy stout's in the background. Hubba, hubba. Thing to do is to make sure we grab the back with that. Then we wiggle worm into there. Then we get a couple threads started back there. And the real question is, can we then get this slid up in there? And the answer is, not really. Had to slide it in over here underneath our little rubber flapper of the fender well. Next, you want to launch your tool. Make sure it's on Titan. I'm the world's worst about getting something finally started. Go to hit this thing, it's going backwards. That one started. That thing bolted right into place like it's supposed to be there or something. Security officer just said, "Excuse me, is there an evil villain over here that needs a butt beat to be bit?" He is the official butt biter. It's just me, Theo. I apologize. I did not mean to interrupt your sunbathing nap. Our exhaust is wrapped up, guys. Before we lower this down, see how far our U-bolts are hanging down? I'm not a fan of that, so let's slice them off there. Are you guys hungry? Huh? You feeling a little hungry after looking at these big old meats? A little pork roast? Damned old ribeye. I meant to swing by the O'Reilly's, but I forgot. Ow! Today kind of feels like a wagging kind of day. Maybe. Don't worry about that. I gotta swing by Taco Boy and drop this off to him. Woo! We don't need that air conditioner. Let's just say Leo liked his present. She's dry. Looks like our power steering's dry. Transmission, it had a little bit on it. I wiped her off. She was not the cleanest. I know it's got to be running to actually check it. I just wanted to show you that ain't the cleanest transmission fluid I've ever seen. Oil's nice and clean. She's halfway between low and full, so we'll put about half a quart in her. This is called the Fill the Oil Booty Bounce. We're hoping we don't find any leaks. Bubble, bubble. Topped her off with a little water too. I'm usually really good at overfilling these and making a mess, So I'm gonna try not to. Battery's hooked back up. Let's try to fire this thing up, see what she sounds like. She don't sound terrible. Those mufflers must be pretty quiet because it's quieter than I thought it was going to be. And I'll be honest, I'm not mad about that. You can still hear it though. You can tell she's got a little something in her. We'll work our power steering here. Try to get some of that fluid to go through the system. Power steering is definitely working, so that's good. She is definitely low on fuel. Oil pressure is working. 60 PSI right there, maybe y'all can see. She is smooth up. As far as the idle and running, this thing is like extremely low on fuel. We need to get some. Come on, Theodore, let's celebrate. No liquid yet underneath the truck. I see I'd spilt a little there on the ground. That's on me. Oh, temperature's coming up. Looky there. Holy cow. How cool is it that with this current performance harness and everything being integrated the way it is, that we've got the factory gauges working with this LS swap. So dang cool. Well, I was kind of hoping she'll warm up and open up and we can top this off. Still not opened up. I do keep seeing it get air through there. I bet that motor's getting hot by now. Yeah, motor's just up to about 210. Fan's just kicked on. Just one fan. That's good. That means the motor can tell it's getting warm and it kicked itself on, which is exactly what we want. Just kick the other one in as well. Well, her idle is not the best. Every time after I'm revving it, it's kind of half wanting to die, it sounds like. She got up a little bit past 210, so I decided to kill it. Still feel like we just have air in the system. I pulled our upper radiator hose off the water pump here, and I'm gonna backfill this, and it is taking a lot. Oh, she just coughed a little steam right there. I feel like I had to do this on my Travelall. It's just been so long since I primed one of these for being dry that I don't remember. She dropped from about 220 down to $1.80. I can tell you up here's getting hot now. We need down in here. There we go. See, before I could touch down there where our thermostat housing is, and she was barely warm at all. I want to feel this start flowing and get warm up here. That's what we're after. Fan's kicking on again. We should have a stinking thermostat open and flowing right now, so we may be having to do a thermostat on her. Come on, baby, open up. I know you want to. Is it frowned upon to tap on these things? She still ain't opened up. My plan here is to get it off the lift. I'm gonna let her cool down again. We're gonna fire it up, and I just want to try putting this thing in reverse and blah blah blah, see if the transmission's working. Whoop. And we probably want to put some pressure in these tires. Going down. Oh, crushed the front bumper. It didn't act like it tried to do a dang thing. And yet the fluid is still up on there and nice and cold. Did we just find out why she was too good to be true? Stay tuned, find out. Hey, she opened. That's good. One loss, another victory. She's just below 210 now. Now that we know she's flowing, we'll go ahead and top her off. So if she's full of fluid, she ain't spraying fluid. She obviously ain't doing a dang thing. Maybe we're gonna get lucky and it's just missing the bolts from the flex plate to the torque converter. Please. You dang right. Y'all see that? There's a gap between them. All right, good. That's exactly what we wanted. We did not want that to be hooked up, because if so, it would have meant something was really not good. Bad pump, maybe something possibly input shaft snapped or something. I don't know what possibilities are, but that is a good thing. I don't recall that being on the list of stuff he told me that was not hooked up, but we'll take it. So if we pry right there and watch over here, right there's a hole. Then we can spin our converter. Hopefully we'll see something line up here. These are always so hard to get in there. We're gonna have to drop the starter where we got room. That starter don't look like it'll drop. That starter looks like it's permanently part of this motor now, thanks to that control arm bracket. No, yeah, I've only got one bolt, so either way we're gonna have to go get some. Now I remembered we had some bolts over here, and some of y'all's already been yelling at your screen because I said it wasn't idling the greatest, and I said we were done with our exhaust, but I lied to y'all. I never put O2 sensors in it. Dang it! That was on my list to do. We do not have to run the rears, but we do have to run the fronts. So this should be somewhere up in here probably. It's all right, guys. That's why they call me old backtracking Bobby. So it looks like we got a little more work to do. Luckily, both O2 sensors were in that box. I knew that. I never mentioned them to y'all, but I do have bungs from buying all the stuff for doing old Roy. So I planned on doing these, just whoop, plumb forgot. I cannot find torque converter bolts, so I am gonna have to go get some. We need gasoline anyhow. So, you know, call me backtracking Bobby or forgetful Freddy. I did disconnect our battery. The question is, will that actually wiggle out of there? If it does, where can we move it to? Well, she will good enough to get the bolts out. Hey-oh, there's way more room like that. Well, that's a good sign. I really didn't think that could wiggle out of there. And we're gonna squeeze up in here. I'm using my finger as my eyeballs right now because I can't see nothing. So we gotta feel around. And then I'll get that baby started. Got her. Now that's the third one. That's tight. There we go. Starter's back on. Next up, back to our exhaust. Oh boy. Now for this, I'm just gonna look on here where we can fit these comfortably. Right there looks pretty good. Then I'm just gonna mark those where we know where to drill a hole and weld that in. Luckily that guy had marked these, looky there, passenger side and driver side. And the driver side is a little different. Probably about right there. Perfect. At least if we have to backtrack, it's on something that comes on and off real easy. I'm gonna take a little off of this, that'll help it fit better. That's what I was worried about. I welded up that one, then I just welded up this one, and it looked like it got some crap in the threads or something. Now we're feeling cross-threaded. That's good. You gotta be kidding me. Dang it, just anything. Yeah, that'll make that real pretty. I have another bung, and I know that started a cross thread. However, I think it's threading into this. Weld this one in. This time, we're good. Just a little extra practice for us, huh? Yeah. Y'all see me put her in and out 1,001 times now, so I'm not gonna make you watch it. I am gonna swap this style of gasket because the Mr. gasket, look, right there, that's a exhaust leak. You can see her blowing some of the hooky puck out. Should have known it. Buttoned her back up. This time we've got some O2 sensors to hook up. That one worked out pretty good place. Those just plug right into our harness that was down there. That side had a clip on it, and I managed to push the clip in a hole. This side, I'm just gonna kind of tuck her in right there. And as long as that ain't on our exhaust, we should be good. Torque converter bolts, check. O2 sensors, check. Fuel, let's get some fuel in her. For fuel, we're gonna fill her full of diesel. That'll get her running right. Just playing, guys. Right here, I got some good old-fashioned Get Her Done 91. Oh, that's good. So we do have a messed up fuel gauge. It still says low fuel. Maybe the sender ain't actually hooked up underneath there, or the sender's bad. Yeah, we're not reading any trans fluid on the dipstick now. It's crazy what happens when it's actually pumping. It's running a lot better now that it has a couple O2 sensors apparently. So let's see her outside for the first time if reverse does want to cooperate. She's driving. She rides terrible. Either that thing's low on fluid or something in that transmission's not happy. We're still gonna hope for the low on fluid. I keep topping her off and then just doing some back and forth right here. Let's see if it'll do it now. Maybe a little. A minute ago when I done that, I could hear transmission fluid going spraying around in the transmission. So I think we just got to keep working it here. There it goes. I can hear it. Y'all probably can't hear it. I probably sound like a crazy man. Oh, our speedo says we're going 100. That's good. I topped her off where I think she's happy. The radiator or the fans have been cycling on and off. She's staying right where she should. Just a hair below 210. Tell you one thing, the heater will roast you out of here. This truck is surprisingly quiet, just like as a whole. I forgot he had cut and modified the gas pedal, and I'm not a huge fan of the position of it. That may be something we need to address in the future. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I didn't need them teeth I just knocked out anyhow. This thing rides like a wood-wheeled wagon. I'd say the alignment's pretty good. Hell, I've seen worse. Looks good to me. The speedo decided to start working, but it's definitely not accurate because I know we ain't going no dang 42. We may be going about 28. And if something does go wrong, I just remembered I forgot my phone. I ain't really gave her gas or anything yet. This is the first drive of this thing since that gentleman had done all his work. And then obviously what we've been buttoning up. So there's a lot that was done to this truck. I can smell it burning off oils and, you know, all the grease you get on your hands, and then you bump the exhaust, or you build one like we did. I can smell all of that cooking right now. Temperature still staying right where we want it. Oil pressure's right at 60. Speedo says we're flying at a big old 50 miles per hour. That we're most definitely not. And don't worry, that old fuel gauge is still reading E. So far, I'm most impressed with how quiet everything is. I'm least impressed with how bad this thing rides. Lowered vehicles obviously do not ride the smoothest. I would say this is almost worse than the Yeehaw, which is lowered for about $30. We do got something rattling. Well, I let out of it because it was just spinning, and even though I let out of it, it strongly spun them into second. Left quite the smoke cloud back there. Something's a little rough on her, I can't tell what. She almost feels like something's hitting the cab somewhere or something. Surely it's not that loose bed back there shaking around, huh? Blinker's working, but she's blinking fast like maybe we got a bulb out. Yeah, something sounds fishy. I cannot tell where it's coming from. Skirting down in there. Then this feels a little wonky when we get going fast. So she's quiet, but she's most certainly not as smooth as I was hoping it to be. It makes a noise that's almost like a damn alien. And I know the camera ain't gonna pick it up, but it goes like... Sounds just like that. I nailed it. Yeah, this thing will just spin that one tire fire and break her loose, no problem. Even with that old fatty back there. Well, not as good as I was hoping. Could be worse. Transmission fluid seems to be pretty good. I don't see any leaks or many liquids or anything like that going on. One, it does seem to have some type of vibration, whether that's pinion angle or the drive shaft, I mean. One of those wheels ain't balanced properly, you know, who knows. Can't quite tell on that right now, but there's I don't know, it just feels funky. And I'm thinking if we could get it on the lift maybe, or start reaching our hand into places once it was cooled off, we may find where the drivetrain's kind of able to hit the truck cab. What is that noise? Y'all hear that? Oh, I opened that and it quits. So that was one of the noises I was hearing when I'd come to a stop. She might be a little rough around the edges, but dang, does she at least look good. We're in a hurry, folks. We're in a hurry. So this morning, we are headed to drop this thing off for an alignment. And I know that may seem a little premature, but my hopes was that yesterday, I was gonna get that stuff done faster, and we were gonna be able to take it for a test drive the way we did, and everything was gonna be like super duper smooth. And it wasn't super duper smooth. However, these people over here at the alignment shop, they kind of flip-flopped their schedule this morning to be able to get my truck in. So with that being said, now I've got to flip-flop what I really need to be doing to take it to them, because I don't want them to flip-flop stuff and then me be like, hey guys, sorry, can't make it. This thing's a turd. I want to see how close your eyes are. You breaking out measurements or what? Don't be trying to give me a run for my eagle eye.
See my finger?
He's like, see my finger? Slides his finger forward a little bit so this side matches. He's like, check my fingers over here. There's two. That's pretty close. So we got her here on the rack. They were concerned about it, maybe scraping, just scraped a little. The main problem now is these are a lot closer than they used to be. I think the truck has settled, because I had about 3/8 of an inch of gap in between there. So just driving that little bit we did, this has definitely dropped down, and I get to pry on this now. Yeah, we just picked the bed up off. It's barely bolted on. I found that out during my test drive yesterday. Well, I'm joking, but I'm half not. We can almost pick up the butt of that bed and slide something in between there. We unzipped our bolts from back here, picked up on the bed, got a 2x4 in there. Between that and giving her a little custom pry job, they may be able to get it. These fender lips, they are a little rusty, guys, so it ain't like we're hurting perfect paint here or anything. I'm just hoping on this side we don't knock all the paint and rust bubbles out of there. She's good quality. Yep, that cracked it. I knew it would. Oh man, there it went bad. Well, at least they can align it now. Well, they just about got us lined out here. Let me show y'all real quick what I found last night. I don't think your drive shaft's supposed to do that. That'll definitely cause a vibration. Here we go. Everything's happy on our caster. Leave a little bit for me, so when I sit in the driver's side, it balances it out. Maybe in here in the shop, you can see a little more. You can't put a magnet to stainless, by the way. Quite a bit of play right there. So the thing is, a 1310 U-joint is gonna have an 1 1/16 cap, where the 3R has an 1 1/8. So it looks like this has the S-10 end caps on it, because they are old and fit properly. So I'd say the gentleman who installed this probably knew that there was something going on. Obviously he knew that end caps did not match. Whew. He did not leave them loose. Holy cow. That just broke. Today just keeps getting better. Maybe he didn't realize it had that slack in there. Of course one had to break. Why wouldn't it break? Son of a biscuit eater. How are we gonna get you out of there? Try to punch center. Little cutting fluid. Woo! That's a shoulder workout from down here. Drill us a pilot, and we're gonna go a hair bigger. Go ahead and clean out all of our threads. That's a 5/16-24. I just assumed it was gonna be metric. It was not. I'd take that out a little bigger to 17/64. I think that's the drill bit I had. All right, we may have threads again, or we may just cut them all out of there. The mystery builds. Now, before we actually pop this U-joint into that drive shaft, I want to pop our internal C-clips on this side. This should be the rear end side. And I want to make sure it fits over there. That should go right there. Look, no more slop, okay? No more bouncing around. That's a good fit too. So there you go. If you need a combination U-joint to go from a 1310, again, that's a smaller cap. Maybe y'all can see there, just a little smaller. I mean, we're talking a 16th, but you can probably see it's actually quite a bit wider. U-joint 372, there's your combination U-joint, I believe is what they call it. And that should be what we need. Boom. Remove that clip. That one's tight. Got the remedy for that right here. Smack that down a little bit and that one will come out. She's close. I don't care about this U-joint too much, so I just, let's just knock her out of there real quick. Here we go. And we can take our new one. I made sure our grease zert is facing forward. And back together we go. Hey Puddin', don't you have a press? Uh-huh. Why don't I use it? Because anything is a press if you're motivated enough. You can take a kid out the trailer park, but you can't take the trailer park out of the kid, okay? Boom, she's in. No surprise she's a little tight. Hammer her back that way, relieves her a little bit. That's a little better. Few little taps like that and looky there. So that's simple enough, right? The main issue now is we gotta find one of them bolts for the strap on the rear. Put that side in, and then this side goes in. All right, that'll go right in with our little straps now. Parts house had them. The real question is, can we tighten this one up? Feeling a little questionable. I'm not gonna give it more than that, guys. That one I smoked. That one's making me nervous. She's pretty dang tight though. Next, we're gonna look for anything that could be hitting. Well, I see something there. Y'all see that stud up there? That appears to be coming off the firewall, and it's really close to that motor, to the head there. It don't look like there's any marks on the head though, so I don't think it's actually hitting. It should have scraped it up if so. Stuff like that's what we want to look for though. Or maybe we can pry a little bit and make sure there's plenty of clearance. I just found something, guys. Can you see right up there, that chrome shiny thing? I think that's a socket, and it looks like it's held in place by that harness. It was just held right there in a spot. GM Performance Parts, 7/8. So hopefully that was just sitting there, and the little vibration, that was the noise I was hearing. I didn't see that last night, so I need to put fresh eyeballs on stuff. Our stud over here, I got that pry bar in there, and I bent it till there's a good 1/4 inch clearance. Other than that, there's actually pretty good room between all this stuff. It clears, the transmission clears the floor and everything else a lot more than I thought it was going to. Only other thing is it looks like our dipstick just kisses the firewall up there. There shouldn't be nothing too wild. Let's go try to take her up and down the road again. Maybe this drive will have some bed bolts in her. Hey Ma, put her driving old flatbed Fred. Go ahead and remove that because we don't want it looking trashy back here. Man, I noticed that there looks like a ground. So maybe that'll help with some of our lights back here. Or maybe those 2 grounds right there, perhaps. Zip tied those up, attached our ground. Let's see how she does now. Neutral safety switch is hooked up. Sounds like one of our exhaust gaskets may be leaking. Still feels questionable. Take it out of gear. In reverse. It's when we go into drive. Oh, and look, it's revving itself up. Did y'all just hear it rev up? What in the self-driving Herbie, the love bug we got going on here? We want it to be like it is when it's in reverse. Oh, it just gets so shaky and like service engine soon. That's new. And our gas pedal just quit working. That's a new one. This thing said, hell with that, I ain't going nowhere. I just popped the hood and immediately seen my problem. Now, one thing I know for sure, we'll try to set these things down and make them not want to run good, is a misfire. This computer knows if it ain't running good, not to be driving. And look. Oh. Well, that thing looks like it's in real good condition. No, I don't think the alignment shop did that. That looks like it's been torn. Okay, that is all old and crusty looking in there, so I think that thing's been ripped up. And it don't fit on there the greatest, obviously, because it's in such pristine shape. Let's check all these since we're here. Yeah, she's running good on 7. I'd have drove it to Missouri like that myself. Well, she fired right back up. She does run better on 7 cylinders. Out here, it don't even sound like it's vibrating bad. So I was hoping underneath the hood we'd hear a little brrr, maybe something hitting. A lot of it just sounds over here. Don't tell me it's been that crap and it was running on 7 cylinders, making the shake more, and it was the junk in the trunk. All right, that's all right there. Put a screw in there that's missing and it may stop that one. All right, guys, I know you're thinking I'm crazy, like, how come he didn't find that sooner? Well, obviously, that plug wire was not off there yesterday. I'd looked, so that fell off today at some point. I do think we were hearing that stuff rattle in the glove box, which I was unaware of, but I do think that socket that was on top of there was doing some bouncing around as we were driving, and that's the crazy thing we were hearing up there. And then obviously the vibration I was feeling was clearly the U-joint. Let's go up and down the road. I just went down and back, guys, real quick, and I can tell she's way smoother than she was. I keep smelling like almost electrical, though. It's making me nervous. Well, I don't see any smoke. Sure am smelling something, though. Hook up our little cheapo scanner. Engine misfire. We know what that was from. No service, check engine light went away or whatever. No powertrain or freeze frame data is presently stored in this vehicle's computer. I don't know what that means. I just know the check engine light went away, so we like that. Well, since we're mini trucking, let's get a couple self tappers for this old pile. The nerve of those people. Pile? Really? Pile? Hurt a man's feelings, you know. Here I am proud of this little rig. And them ladies had the nerve to give me a tag that calls my truck just a pile. It's a pile. Imagine that. Not that she wasn't full road legal before or nothing, but now she really is, okay? Oh, just going to leave. I thought that was a socket in the road. Shoot, throw her in the back. She's just a damned old trash truck. It is so much smoother than before. We're going out on the highway here. Just kind of being easy on it. Everything feels good. I don't know if I mentioned before, the brakes on this thing feel phenomenal. It stops extremely good. There ain't no door seal, so she's a little noisy, and she will definitely pull on the highway. Overall, this little pickup feels pretty good. This guy right here is an unmarked police. He ain't tricky. I'm gonna go ahead and top this sucker off. Here we go, first fill up with the sunrise on her, looking good. Man, does that look good. quick little rinse off, and I think hooking up them grounds probably fixed our tail lights here. That one's still flashing fast. So this one may need a bulb. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Woo! Took her, gave her a little gas there. She's got a little pepper. Brought her back here. Yeah, I'd say we've probably got a burnt bulb. Also a little bit of rust in here, huh? Well, that one's flashing now, so this front one must be out too. Brake light check. Oh yeah, we got brake lights. And we got running lights. Dang, we got ground effects, baby. Even got a license plate light. How fancy. Pot County Underglow kit right there. I did not know this, but apparently that grill just pulls right off there. I just seen that one push clip. Yeah, another bad bulb. Boom, running light. I'm sure that headlight's supposed to be flopping. Don't worry about that. These were a great design. Said nobody ever. There's another bulb in this one for a running light. Those are all working now. Let's upgrade our plug wire that's broke. And by upgrade, I mean let's hop and skip to the old junkyard here. Well, howdy there, boot scooting Yukon. Just gonna pull number 1 from the old boot scooting here. It's better than our torn one. Just simply pop that on. And I keep thinking I'm smelling rubber, and I know she'll spin the tires, but I'm curious if we're getting into our sidewall. I know we were a little yesterday, but then I pried up on that. But yeah, I think that's still getting us some. Just try to pick the butt up off this, off the ground. Just trying to see what she looks like with a little more rake to her. Get your trusty ye old baseball bat. Lower it down just a little. And we're gonna start rolling that lip. Get her once, drop her down a little bit, give her another pass. That's curving her. And also chipping off the paint. Yeah, the driver's side here, the old baseball trick as well. That way we're getting clearance on both sides. That eliminates all the little piddly stuff I could think of. And me and the whole family, we gotta leave here shortly in like 20, 30 minutes or so. We're gonna take the girls to watch some volleyball. However, there's enough time for a quick trip to Mexico here. I think it just downshifted and spun into third even. Or no, it shifted to third, then I let out a little bit, then I gassed it again, it downshifted into second, started to break them loose. Boy, Mexico is beautiful this time of the year. Yeah, guys, this thing's got some salt and pepper. There ain't even no point in going from a total stop because it's just gonna spin them. Gotta go from a little bit of a roll. Yeah! Pretty impressed with her. Pretty impressed. This truck will be a blast to stinking drive if we can get it to start hooking up. I don't think just them leaf springs are gonna do it. We're gonna have to add some damn old slapper bars, baby. So we've proven she'll drive. Pretty good project overall. I'd say that guy did a pretty good job on all the work he did. A couple loose little fuel lines, you know. The U-joint was probably the biggest mishap I found. But much other than that, I'd say he put together a pretty solid truck. We did nothing but top tier work on the stuff we did, of course. And I really think this is a pickup truck we're gonna be able to enjoy. So she drives, she stops, she feels good, guys, in the steering. Everything's nice and tight. It is starting to ride a little better too. I mean, you gotta think all the way around, this thing has brand new springs, bushings, shocks, just everything. So it's a little stiff, but mainly springs. They gotta break in and settle some. Guys, I think we're gonna have a great little pickup here. There's only one thing we have not tested yet. Is she gonna be reliable? Well, today we're gonna find out if she's reliable or not. My goal here is to put about 200 miles on her. I just left the house, no real destination in mind, and I got to thinking about it. I've been to Stillwater, Oklahoma. I've been to Tulsa, Oklahoma. but I've never done the stretch from Stillwater to Tulsa. So I think we're gonna just start heading a little north towards Stillwater, and from there, that'll kind of be the plan. That'll give us some new sights to see, hopefully, and we'll see if this old S-10's reliable or not. I did grab us a spare since I've been having a lot of flat tires lately. I've always had really good luck with no flats, and this last like 3 months, I am just absolutely destroying my record of that. Grabbed a few tools, nothing too crazy. We're more going on a hope and a prayer that she's just good to go. Now, one thing I did add before leaving was our door seals. I'll show you real quick. Right there. The door seals are definitely nice for keeping the wind noise out. That way I can chit chat with y'all. Start the trip out with some police next to us. Maybe he wants to race. You wanna run him? Feeling frisky? Police of OBU. That's college police. They don't count. Whoop whoop. Sir, we're pulling you over for not finishing your class. I keep getting a smell from this, and I thought we would have drove it enough to burn off any oils and stuff like that. Or sometimes it almost smells like a plastic burning, but I ain't found it yet. So maybe on a long trip like this, that'll reveal itself. Stick around, find out. Well, you don't start driving faster doing speed limit, I'm gonna get you a citizen's arrest. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to pull over for going slow. Go down old Route 66, head right. Favorite bottom right here on this drive. Back when I was a very young puddin, a little puddin cup, if you will, I was driving to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Kicker Bash, which some of you truck people will remember. That was a truck show that the Kicker speakers, whatever, subwoofer people, they used to host that show up in Stillwater. I was driving my Datsun up there. She still had the factory carburetor, basically factory everything. It just had air ride on it I'd built. And in that bottom right there, I looked like the Beverly Hillbillies. I had the back loaded down with ice chest and chairs and crap all strapped. She was patina, rusty, slammed on steelies with dime whites. Shocker. I've liked the same stuff forever. And this thing's just a freaking frog hair off the ground. I'm just skating through there. And I get passed by the highway patrol. Oh, I had the front up, back down. That's what she was. We were riding a little California style, little Oklahoma squat. All right, back then we called it riding Cali with your air ride. You had the front up, back down. And highway patrol passes, immediately whips around and pulls me over. Two gentlemen, they come walking up. I wanted to say it's one of the first times I'd ever been pulled over, so I just went to reaching down and grabbed my wallet. And when I did that, they both drew guns on me. Stop reaching, stop reaching. I'd already picked up my wallet. I said, just grabbing my wallet. They come up there. What is this thing? It's a little Datsun. What's wrong with the back of it? It says it's got air ride. And I hit the switch and popped up the back. And I said, y'all ain't never seen that before? No, whatever. You could tell they were just curious about the truck. They thought it was broke, probably a hazard, being this high off the ground. I get it. They never said that. What they told me they got me for was, they go, you know why we pulled you over, right? I said, no, I don't. They said, for speeding. And I said, in this? I promise y'all, I had checked the top speed on that thing going downhill with the wind blowing to my back on the Datsun's best day ever, and I could never get that truck over 57 miles per hour. And they told me it was going 77 miles per hour is what they clocked me at. And I just told them, I said, you'll have to prove that to me. I said, because I know for a fact this truck will not go over 60. I said, I've tried. It ain't possible. And, well, that's what we got you for, but we're going to let you go this time. Okay, appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. But every time I go into that bottom, it just reminds me of that old hot rod Datsun I had that was going 77. But damn sure wasn't. That thing still had like what'd those come with? 456 gears, right? Then that little Nicky carburetor or whatever, that thing ain't no damn way it was doing 77. Well, one thing about this truck, guys, she can get around traffic if need be. Going up this way, lots of hills, a lot of steep hills. And of course this truck does not notice. It's so light versus the power that it just boogies. Speedo says we're running about 85. GPS says we're running about 75. That oil pressure likes to stay at a little plus of the 60 side, which is good. And our temp has been staying a little below 210. Luckily, it's kind of a cool day out, so yeah, I don't have the windows down because I just I've got it letting the cool air in, dang it. And she is just a cruiser. We've been on the road for a little over 30 minutes now, so there's your first vitals update. I've noticed that 75, I don't know what RPMs we're at, but the truck's just quiet and smooth and feels pretty dang good. Kind of picked to go this way because I just think there's a lot of pretty sightseeing to do. Plenty of ponds, kind of little farms or ranches set up. I kind of like cruising through the hills and seeing the horses and the cows. Just take in all that beautiful Oklahoma scenery. Except them, they got a damn cemetery fence around their place. Hey, y'all know why they put fences around cemeteries? Because folks are just dying to get in. Come on, you furred. You're holding this up back here. I'll put that bumper on you and give you a little push if you need me to. Did you order one custom set of blown off doors? Well, you can mark those as delivered. Damn, when did Perkins get a lake? All right, we've made it to the big old city of Perkins. That's where you go if you're feeling perky. 35. I better slow down before we're sitting in jail like old Mortsky was. Because I just stole this truck figuratively, not literally. Okay. Guys, as we're cruising this now, I can tell you, I was just kind of trying to add it up in my head. And between buying the truck for the 5 or whatever it was, and then we've got like 150 in the universal kit. Those mufflers were like 40s, so less than 200 into our exhaust. The handful of little odder end parts I bought, I don't even remember. And then the wheels, I think we were like 750 or somewhere around that into these wheels and tires off of Marketplace a year ago. So I think we're into this thing right now for probably right at 6,100 bucks. She might be a 20-footer. She's got some scratches and little dents and dingers, okay? She's got a little dinger on her here or there. But for what she is, we are into this thing really cheap. I know for a fact we could not build one to this matching level. Just for the parts, we would be into this same amount of money. So I'm usually really scared to buy other people's projects. But I would say this one so far is kind of proving that if you trust your gut or instinct and, you know, just be sure to look something over pretty good and check out what it is, there's some decent deals out there still on Marketplace to be found. All right, mainly because I've got to pee, not because we need fuel that bad. I'm gonna whip into the Casey's here, and we will just go ahead and check our fuel mileage. We'll fill up our tank, and then I'll go empty my tank. How's that? The truck took a grand whopping 3 gallons to fill back up. Now we've gone probably about 56 miles. 56 divided by 3. So we're getting probably 18 to 19 miles to the gallon. Kind of hard to factor that because after I filled it up yesterday, I may have been doing a little hot rodding all the way to the house. So it's actually probably doing better than that. Did you like that shot? Looky there. Let's save someone a couple flat tires, huh? A lot of little vibrations from interior panels in this thing. Go, baby, go. I haven't smelt rubber yet, which had been pretty common until I gave her the baseball bat trick, so we must have done good there. All right, turn right here and we'll be headed straight into Stillwater. I thought right in here there used to be a field plumb full of cars. Bunch of oldies. Of course, I ain't been to Stillwater in a long time. If you're from Stillwater, did they get rid of all that crap? I thought I seen a couple of them on Marketplace at one point. Well, dang it. Well, since we're in Stillwater, let me show y'all something. There's a Toyota Supra. What in the hell is this? I don't know, but I like it. Yes, here we are. Eskimo Joe's Promotional Products Group. Kind of just making up this drive as I go here, but I figured since we were going to be in Stillwater, I could pop in here and show you this. Y'all know I get our t-shirts from Eskimo Joe's. Every single t-shirt, hoodie, stuff like that gets hand printed, hand folded right here in this facility. I tell y'all support Oklahoma families when you buy from us, and not just mine, all the folks that work right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Hi-yo. The adventure rolls on. I've never been on this road here. It's actually going to take us north out of Stillwater and then shoot us over towards Tulsa. So this is all new scenery for me. I can go right towards toll road. Uh-oh. I'm keeping right. Siri or whatever your name is. Deborah. I didn't know we were getting on any fancy toll roads. I hope they got a pay by tag. We can get up to speeds quick on the toll road. She's a rocket ship, folks. Just like this thing will run 75, no problem. She'll run along at 85, no stinking problem. Nice and quiet, guys, just smooth. Really impressed with her. I mean, we ain't even pushing this thing. It's just floating along here. She may set the land speed record for the S-10 class. Coming into the bottom here, I think we're going over a part of Keystone Lake. Just what I could find on the map. Water's looking nice and brown. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick that up. But this is beautiful right in here. This right here's the shot of the drive, guys. I'm liking this. A little sun reflection off that water. Going up into the trees as they're changing colors. Oh man. So we got about 28 minutes worth of driving to go. I actually had the idea, since I was kind of headed towards Tulsa, this truck came from Owasso on the other side of Tulsa. I messaged the gentleman and I told him I was headed that way and asked him if he wanted to check out the truck, and he said sure thing. So we're actually going to meet up where he can check this rig out. As I've been going this week, I've been sending him pictures and updates, kind of keeping him up to tabs on it. I told him I would, so this will give him a chance to make. Hell, I'm sure he wants to drive it. We can let him take her for a rip. There's a river over there, and I know when you get close to Sand Springs, which is outside Tulsa, you get where you're running next to the river. So we're getting closer. There's that river. So back there are some curves I was kind of powering through, and I made a minor discovery. This seat's not bolted down. We were turning hard and that seat just kept going. I was going, hell, I hope I don't go with it. I think I found a bump in the road. So our main problem with why that really launched me is we don't have the C-notch, guys. So on these real bad bumps that I'm finding, we are smacking axle to frame back there. Looks like we've made it kind of downtown Owasso. Which means we're about at our destination. All right. right, we made her to the quick trip here. We're gonna go ahead and fill up just cause. Is it weird to see it on the road?
Yeah, man. That looks sweet with those wheels.
Man, those wheels did it, didn't they?
Gosh.
Good to see you again, man. She's been she's doing pretty good. 4.5 gallons. I've kind of just been tracking it, but I just went to try those for size, kind of see how 18s looked, and I was like, man, those look perfect. Just leave it.
That looks awesome.
It looks like you did pretty good on the truck, man.
Yeah, you can't beat a little mini truck, man.
Yeah,
gas efficient.
And she feels pretty good out on the toll roads, flying.
Really? Where'd you get the rims and stuff at?
Those are my other marketplace find from a while back, just randomly.
Perfect.
So they just happened to, yeah, your truck's my good marketplace deal, and these wheels are my good marketplace deal.
That's perfect.
And they just, it just happened to work out.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really ain't done much to it from what you've done to it. I picked up the things that you mentioned needed finished up.
Yeah.
And then I literally got it going yesterday, and here we are. You want to drive it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go for a drive.
Yeah. Ride good on the highway for the most part. I mean,
she's pretty stiff.
Yeah.
What kind of springs do you use in the front? Any idea?
I don't even remember. I have to look and I can tell you exactly what they are.
She rides a little rough, but you know, everything's got to break in.
Yeah.
And then not having a C-notch in the back skilling it right now.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. When you bottom that out, you know it.
Yeah.
Other than that, she's doing pretty good.
Sounds good on it. Yeah.
Pretty quiet. I was going back and forth. Do I want it quiet or loud? And after doing this road trip, you get up to like 75, 80 in here. It's just quiet as can be, and I'm like, that's kind of nice.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, she likes to try to go.
That's awesome, man.
It ain't hard to blow the tires off.
Not at all. Not at all.
It will. It'll downshift from third into second and just smoke it. You can gas on it. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. That's awesome.
I mean, you're used to driving Corvettes.
Yeah.
She ain't no Corvette,
No.
she ain't bad for a little S-10.
Oh. It's amazing what a little LS swap will do, man.
Yeah, just sprinkle a little LS on it, spice it up a hair.
Well, it looks like all your other gauges are working, just that fuel gauge. I don't know.
Yeah, speedo's a little off. So really, you're going 5 to 10 slower than what it's showing.
Yeah. I mean, it does ride stiff, but it doesn't ride bad.
No, you hit the right ones that are real bad, and you feel it. The front's settling in. I can feel the front easing up.
Yeah.
The back don't ride super duper rough. The only problem is, again, the C-notch.
Yeah, man.
No, I was going through some of those curves to get towards y'all coming through Tulsa, and that's when I discovered the seat was unbolted. So she kind of hopped me around a little bit because it was handling pretty good in them.
That's cool, man.
No, it's doing good. I found a couple little things here or there yesterday doing a little shakedown.
Oh yeah.
I thought something underneath here was rattling real bad.
Yeah.
And there was a socket on top of the transmission, so I've got one of your sockets. Yeah, 7/8. And it was between the floor and the transmission just rattling.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking the transmission was wanting to come apart, and I think that was that noise. And then over this way, I kept hearing a noise, and it ended up being some hardware in the glove box rattling around. So I opened it, and I seen that, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
One of the plug wires has been ripped up for a long time on the boot.
Yeah, yeah.
So that fell off on me at some point yesterday. It's pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And that you can still hear it spinning.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be nice if we get it where it's not spinning and just going.
Yeah.
Let's go run that orange thing.
Yeah.
Man, it drives great.
Yeah, it really
Brakes
does.
feel good from you rebuilding everything. Everything feels nice and tight. I mean, it goes down the road nice and straight.
Is it leaking anything? Is it all?
Not that I've found so far.
Yeah.
When I backed up, there's one little drop, but the power steering it kind of overran because it was a little too full and stuff. So until I give it like a week for that crap to finish dripping off that I'd accidentally spilt and stuff, you know, but nothing crazy.
It's pretty quiet, surprisingly. I mean, it's got some roar to it, you know, but
yeah, it sounds all right.
Yeah,
it sounds all right, but like I said, you get it at the right RPMs.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty quiet.
Up, yeah. Man, that thing spins. Woo. Gosh. Yeah, that's wild.
It's a blast to drive, man. I don't have a lot of miles on it besides what I've done today, and I've been grinning a lot. Oh yeah, now we can ask him if he wants to run them.
Yeah, 06.
Hey, you want to cry today or what?
Yeah.
So I was driving here, doing all that cruising, guys. I was thinking it'd sure be nice to have cruise control. He said with the pedal and this stuff, he was having a hard time getting throttle response. So he never ended up messing with that because they're a similar style. But we're gonna try plugging the sucker in because we may have cruise control for the way home. Or we may not have throttle response, who knows?
Yeah, and you can hook up ACs. I don't know if you looked up any of those kits or anything they make for these S-10s.
Right.
I mean, it's all plug and play stuff.
I may have ordered all that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, all their other stuff was so good, you know, that it's kind of hard not to believe in their products. And
yeah, it's all plug and play. It looks good. It looks factory, you know.
well, and
really...
basically AC, all their stuff's gonna cost me around $1,100 shipped, and it's a plug and play. And like vintage air and all that crap, I mean, $2,500 now,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And or trying to adapt a bunch of stuff and still spending $1,000,
yeah,
and then having to figure out how to make it all work.
Yeah, yeah.
So for all their stuff that it comes with to make all that work, I didn't think $1,100 was a bad deal. And this truck's nice enough that it's worth it, you know. If it was, if it was scabbed together,
the price really, it's worth it.
Yeah, I really ripped off this dude and just stole the truck.
Yeah. No, that's
Did you get you a Corvette yet?
I haven't yet, man. I've been looking. I've been looking at that and some old Volkswagens. Some
oh, there you go. So you either want something really fast or really slow.
Exactly.
No in between.
No in between at all. Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, y'all know I was having a hard time getting a good reading on this. So she should be nice and hot now. Looks just about right to me. That was the one thing I kind of wanted to put eyeballs on. Yeah, hear the fan shut off?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that whole setup's doing great.
Yeah. Because one of the guys, he's like, man, I wish you would have told me you were going to sell that, you know, because I told him about a month or so before I posted it.
One of the guys you worked with?
Yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to sell it, because I was going to give it to him. I was like, man, because I told him that day, I was like, if you want to come get it, like after work, I'll sell it to you for $4,500.
Dang!
That's cheap, you know.
So you ripped me off?
No.
No. Here we go. That was pretty cool. Let him check it out. He had a good time checking it out and driving it. I could tell he was having fun when he was punching the gas. All right, old GPS says we got 93 miles to home. By the time we get home this trip, we'll be putting about 220 miles on her. Sun's going down. It's 4:20 here lately. Sun's been going down at damn 5. So we're gonna be driving home in the dark. So we'll put those headlights to the test too. How's that? As the sun goes down on my side of town, there's a S-10 hammered to the floor. Well, we still ain't got no cruise control. However, he said the problem he had was he hooked the pedal control to the cruise control. I guess those plugs are interchangeable, and he had it mixed up. So there's a good chance when he plugged up the cruise control to that, he could have popped a fuse. Assuming this thing has a fuse for the cruise control circuit itself. Who knows? We'll investigate that in the future. You may notice the service engine soon light is on. Maybe y'all noticed that. I put my scanner back on it, and it's calling for like bank 2, sensor 2, O2 sensors. So I think it's just saying it wants to see the rear ones, which obviously we do not have hooked up. However, that's not affecting how this thing's driving, or running, I mean. Right now she's running smooth as a whistle, and we're just gonna keep on sailing back towards old Pike County, baby. She may be missing some of her interior, but I sure am glad these sun visors are in, because we're driving right into that bright sun. If I could get this wedge trailer to put his ramps down, we'd just drive up on there and save our gas. Give me a ride. The old camera makes it look a lot brighter than it is outside. That sun's about settled. Here's our exit. From here out, we'll be just taking some of the kind of back roads, I guess. See if we can't test them seats that ain't bolted down again, huh? We're probably 50 to 55 miles out from the house. Wow, I wish that camera did that justice. Everything's like pink and purple. To y'all, it just looks yellow still. Sir, turn them Christmas lights off right now. There's a debate to be had down in the comments. Are Christmas decorations and crap allowed before Thanksgiving? Y'all have at it. There we go. There's a turkey in the yard. Those people know how it's supposed to be. Here in damn beautiful America, you're free to do whatever you want, except that, okay? There's old Broadway garage. Cool little downtown area here in Prague. I just seen the sign. We're back in Pike County, baby! Well, our dash lights work, including our airbag lights and our ABS lights and our low fuel light and our service engine soon light, so that's good. I'm gonna pull in here mainly so I can stand up and stretch because my right butt cheek's falling asleep. Baskin Robbins, we may have to indulge. I'll show y'all one thing I've noticed after driving it. The suspension is settling some. I don't know if it'll be enough to show on camera, but she's sitting down a little bit. The lower she gets, the better she looks, if you ask me. Oh yeah, that coffee's good. Need something to keep me awake because this thing's so damn smooth. I may just fall asleep on this last leg of the trip here. Look at the old neon sign. Hopefully y'all can see it. Canadian Valley, that's electrical company there. Yeah, what y'all charge us, you better be able to power up that damn neon sign. Home sweet home. We made it. Little victory growl. What a truck. Now guys, I'm still getting a little rattled down in the lower RPMs. Can't see. Goodness, I can't see. One upgrade, that thing needs its headlights, all right? I mean, they're good for what they are, but they're from 1999, so to today's standards, they kind of suck. Y'all know I'm used to crappy taillights. Between probably 1,000 to 2,000 RPMs, something around that area is kind of rattling, just almost hitting the floor or something. Nothing to really be scared of. And when you get going, it's just getting going from like 0 to like 15 to 20. You kind of get something in there, but like going down the road, you can't hear it. So it just has to be at the right frequency of shaking. It may be some of the panels still loose in here. They were kind of squeaking and stuff, so it may just be something like that. I think Theo's been missing me today. But there we go, guys. What a truck for what we're into it, if you ask me. I know it's just a S-10 to some of y'all, and they're like, wow, I can't believe you'd spend that much on that. I think we're in it for a steal of a deal for what we've got out, or for what we've got here, guys. One hell of a little driver. Handles great, stops great, plenty of power, plenty of modern drivability. And once we get the AC working and, you know, tighten up the interior, do a C-notch, little rear end upgrade like I was talking about. Once all that stuff's done, talk about a truck that you can just hop in and go, enjoy driving, you know, good modern enough windshield wipers, crap like that. And kind of looks sporty and nice. Not really usually something I would lean towards. That don't mean that I don't like this stuff. It's just always, if you've ever given me, if I was in a position where I had to pick, are we going to build something like this that the budget allows? Or are we going to build something like this that the budget allows, just something old school? I've always gone the old school way. Well, now we've built so much old school, I thought it was kind of fun to shake things up a bit and try something a little newer. So I'm curious to see what y'all think. What do you think of our old S-10 find? Our old Marketplace wheels, the old Marketplace Bandit is what this thing is. Let me know down below, do y'all like this thing or not? If you don't like it, it ain't coming back. How's that? Just playing, baby. You'll be back. As always, guys, we appreciate the support. What if from now on, every time we got something ready where it was on a test drive, we took it up to Owasso and let Justin be our test driver to let us know if we did good or not? That just becomes a thing on the channel. It's got to get Justin approved. Anyhow, I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for watching. puddins.fab.shop for that good quality merchandise. We appreciate all the support there. We just appreciate y'all coming back and watching time and time again. If you haven't checked us out on the second channel, be sure to check us out there. Always got good content going out there too that people seem to enjoy. And much other than that, I'm on the Instagrammer, I'm on the Facebooker, I'm on the Patreon. It is a little after 6 o'clock on Saturday, and it is time to go in and spend some time with the family, all right? So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project. But sometimes sitting on it will let you drive one of your projects you just got on the road. I'll see y'all in the next one.